Hi, this is Ronda Degaust with LifePotentialDevelopments.com, international NLP trainer, coach, columnist, and author of How to Heal from Years of Criticism, Insults, Abuse, and Rejection. With me is Roger Ellerton, a well-respected NLP trainer, coach, speaker, management consultant, and author of 5 NLP books. Today, Roger and I are going to discuss this newest book, WinWin Influence, How to Enhance Your Personal and Business Relationships with NLP. Today we're going to talk to Roger about his book in general, and in subsequent discussions we'll cover specific aspects of the influence process. So please look for the title searching out the WinWin Influence for further discussions. Welcome, Roger.
Hi, Rhonda. Great to see you again.
Great to see you too. So perhaps we can start this by asking you what inspired you to write this book.
Well, thank you. There are a number of things that have inspired me to write the book, and as you and I, we've been involved with NLP for some time, and NLP for me is really all about communication. And one of the largest parts of communication for any of us, each and every day, is that we are influencing people. We're influencing our family members, co-workers, maybe we're selling something, and also one of the big influences, we're influencing ourselves, either to do something or not do something. So on that latter influence aspect, that's not covered in my book. It is in my other book, Live Your Dreams of Reality Catch Up, or if that's an issue for somebody who has difficulty influencing themselves, to get a coach such as yourself, or to take a practitioner training, which would cover that and unlock some of those ideas in terms of how to influence yourself in a very positive way. But for my book, it's more about how to influence the other person in a win-win situation. And there are a few books in my mind, certainly in the NLP area, that cover influence. And those that do often only cover one small part of it, either language patterns or establishing rapport or something like this. And also there's a few books that, I hate to mention them, but they're how to take advantage of people. And I'm sure you can find, how to seduce this person or that person, or how to get this. And that's not what my book's about. So I thought there was a real vacuum for something that would really talk about the whole influence process, and also to do it from a win-win perspective. In other words, I have an idea, a thought, or a product or service, and I'd like you to be interested in it, and to present it in a way that you can fully assess it and make a decision as to whether it's good for you or not. And we both come away from a win-win perspective, whether or not we both agree on it, but we both agree that it's been a useful conversation, a useful interaction, and we both say, hey, whether we agreed or not, hey, let's do it again, because I really enjoyed that interaction. So that's the basis of my book.
Well, I really enjoyed your book, and there's one part of it, when I first read it, it was sort of like, wow, that really hit home with me. And it was really about what the book was about, but what it was not about as well. And like you said, there's a lot of books out there that like to say, well, let's rip this person off or manipulate this person, and that really doesn't fit with my values. And there's a part of the book that I want to read to you because I thought it was just it just really, really connected to my soul. And it says that if you're looking for tips and techniques to persuade others in a way of thinking or buying your idea or product or service without regard to their needs or aspirations, please look elsewhere. And
Absolutely.
That really kind of connected with me, because when I do my training, there's a lot of competition out there, and as you know, I have an NLP training online, and it's a full 120-hour program, and there's a lot of programs out there, as you know, that are little bits and pieces of information saying they're going to give them a full certification, but it's not really. It's a lot of a money grab scam. And
Absolutely.
I really, really liked the way you did that in your book, because it really said it's really about developing relationships. It's really about the communication and the win influence, not it's okay for me and not for you. It has to go both ways. And I think that is ultimately important, and you really covered that well in the book. And, the communications model, I think, or the communications in general and the influence of that. Could you just give us a little bit of an insight of, maybe for the listeners, of what that would cover?
Absolutely. From my perspective, well, from all of our perspectives, we get a lot of information coming to us each at any given moment. We see it, hear it, feel it, touch it, smell it, and so forth. In fact, some people say there's 4 billion bits of information coming to you at any given moment, and you can only consciously process 2,000. So that's a very, very small piece of everything that's available to you. So if we're in an influence situation, you and I are paying attention to you. Those people who are watching this video, we're paying attention to different things, and there are different things that are important to us, whether we're buying a car or a house or just listening to somebody about their ideas. And so if I present my ideas to you in terms of how I'd like to buy into that, it may not be the way you would, that 2,000 bits of information, that may not be the 2,000 bits of information that's important to you. So what I find very important is I need to understand how you're processing that information and then present my idea or product to you in a way that you can access the information very easily, in other words, what you're paying attention to. And that's what I think is really important about my book, because we spend time to understand the other person, and then once we understand the other person, to actually present our idea, product, or service in a way that they can access. In fact, I've coined an acronym that I call RIGHTS, which sort of gives a perspective in terms of what you can pay attention to as you're listening to the other person, and if you address those things, and each letter stands for different things. For example, R can stand for relationship, which may be very important to the person. Once you understand those things, then you can feed back your idea, product, service in terms of those things, and it sort of resonates more for them because it goes through that 2,000 bits that they're paying attention to.
Absolutely. You know, when you're actually talking with somebody, you know, there's lots of things we can discuss in other little videos, I think, which we should do, you know, like the rights and things like that. And because you have so many points in your book that you covered, and I know today's interview is just a little bit of get people interested in what's possible and communication, and what NLP is really doing is helping people communicate more effectively with each other so that it is a win-win. And you really cover the influence part, because when you're having a relationship, if you don't know how to communicate properly with that person, you can't influence them properly, and nor can they with you. So whether it's in personal relationships, business relationships, any of those things at all, I think that reading your book and learning about the communication and the influence process would be ultimately important for anybody that wants to be successful in any kind of relationship in life.
Absolutely, agree with you.
So I think that if people want to learn more about your book, they can go to your website and also listen and look for the more discussions on the win-win influence process. And thanks so much for coming, Roger.
My pleasure. Talk to you again soon.
Talk to you soon.